My dad suffered from torso rigidity, and a lot of people do with Parkinson's. If you have torso rigidity, what you're going to find is that you can do some exercises, and that for the rest of the day you're probably going to be a little bit more comfortable. But it's going to be one of those things that you'll have to continue to work on. It isn't something that you can do for 3 or 4 days and then you're going to have fixed your torso rigidity. Torso rigidity means that it's really tight and it's hard for you to move. Things just seem like they're kind of stuck in concrete, not unlike the freezing that happens with feet. Now what we're going to do is 3 different moves, and those will be upright moves. And that's for people, that's for everybody. Everybody can probably do these as long as you can stand up. We're going to do it on those 3 planes, and this is the lateral plane, the vertical plane, and the horizontal plane, because that's how your body can move. And with the lateral, this is the side slide. And you can see, I'm going to just turn a little bit for you, and you can see that my ears are over my shoulders, and I'm just sliding my hands up and down the sides of my thighs, kind of up toward the hip and down toward the knee. You don't want to lean forward with this. That's not going to help your torso. You want to be nice and upright with this. So keep your head up and keep your eyes forward. And do this maybe to about the count of 20, and do it nice and slow. And that's our lateral move. You probably recognize this if you've been following me for any length of time. You'll see it printed an awful lot. The forward bend, that's that vertical one. The torso bends forward, and it does hyperextend just a little bit as well. And what we're going to do is going forward with this. And when you do the forward bend, you want to drop the head first, then start to round the shoulders, and slide your hands down to your knees, and stop at the knees, bend the knees slightly, and then you can keep moving forward, and you're not going to strain your lower back because you're pressing down on your hands. Then to come back up, keep your head down, and roll into the shoulders, and slide up, then bring your head up. If you want, you can go so far as to look up slightly and crack a walnut between your shoulder blades, and then head, shoulders, kind of in one slow move. Down you go, up you come. Bring it up, bring up the shoulders, bring up the head, and if you wish, look up, crack the walnut, and you can continue doing this. Maybe do, 4 to 8 of them. And you saw how fast I was doing them. It's not quick. We're not out for a cardiorespiratory with this stuff. Now the last one is the horizontal move, and that's the twist. And that's what we use so much of the time. So you just want to do this nice and easy. You can have your arms down your side, and you can just do this little twist. It's really quite relaxing, kind of comforting. But when you do it, don't stand and twist just your shoulders with your head forward. You want to have the entire shoulder and head go with you, and from the hips, go ahead and do this little spin. Now gravity is pulling down on us this whole time, and it's causing us to have to fight to keep things up. You saw that the forward bend, we had to fight gravity doing this with our torso coming forward. Now what I'm going to do is show you how to get down on the floor so that you can do 3 floor exercises. It's actually 4, but 3 with the lateral, the vertical, and the horizontal. And they're working the muscles just a little bit differently, and so you can get a little bit farther with each one of these. Cheryl, I hate to do floor exercises. Yeah, but you hate the Parkinson's too, and these are very good exercises. And you're going to learn how to get up and down to and from the floor safely. So bear with me while I change the camera. Okay, now you have a good thing of my legs here. What we're going to do is do that forward bend again. You're going to be going towards something that is good and reasonably immovable. I have a big box here. You can use the sofa, you can use a heavy chair, the lounge chair arm or something, just anything so that you can pre-plan this. And go ahead and do that dropping of the head, dropping of the hands, coming down here, put your hands on the surface, and then take a step back with one foot, and you can drop the knee, and then you can drop the other knee, and you can go down from one side to the other if you want to be on your hands and knees, which is what we want to do. But if you were wanting to go down and you wanted to sit, you'd get to this position, and then you could go ahead and you could sit down, or you could drop one hand and sit down as well. And all of this is going to be on the Facebook. Okay? So, since we actually want to be on our hands and knees, we're going to go to here, and we're going to do the first one, which is a fanny look. And some of my clever names here, the fanny look. I'm sure that the men out there are just loving that one. But you're going to take your head and you're going to turn around and look toward your hip. And as you do, I want you to take the hip on the same side and kind of push it. Push it forward and look. And then go to the other side. And this way you can really get the torso bending, where with the side slide you can't push it quite this far because you'd be fighting gravity to get back up, and that might hurt your back. But here we can just go ahead, and it's not hard. Just go ahead and go back and forth 8 times, 16 times, 20 times. The next one is going to be the vertical. And I'm going to turn a little sideways here for you because it's going to be the cat curl. And when you do that, I want you to take your head down. You're going to press upward on your arms. Press upward to get the shoulders up. I guess you'd be pressing against the floor to press yourself up. Head down, and think about a cat curling their back. You see how my ears kind of come down in between my arms, and then I drop and I bend my elbows a little bit and I sway my back slightly. Now if you have lower back problems, don't do that. Go to just a flat back here. Otherwise you can go ahead and do this and drop the head, push down on the hands, curl with the shoulders, real high back. And you can see that this is not one that you'd be able to do standing upright and be able to control that kind of a move. And that's why I like to go to the floor and add a little something in your toolbox, or perhaps your medical bag, so that you can fight the Parkinson's. Now, you're going to go down and be on your back. So with that, you just sort of tuck a knee underneath, go down and get on your back, and lay down with your arms out to the side. You're going to be able to have the arms out to the side so that you can press down on them and that you can control your knee bends. And I want you to have the knees slightly bent. You can see that, I think, in the camera. And the feet are flat on the floor. And you're going to be looking upward, and as a unit, just drop the knees over. Now you may not be as limber as I am. You may only come to here, and that's fine. You don't want to push it. You want to let gravity drop you to whichever side. If it lifts this foot, fine. You're also going to find out that the hip on the opposite side to which you're dropping is going to lift. Now you're going to come back and drop it to the other side. If you're strong enough to do it without pressing down on your hands, fine. If not, you can press down on your hands, and that gives you the control that you need. Now, you're going to find that this is probably pretty darn comfortable once you get into it. Don't overdo. Don't let yourself go so far that you can feel your lower back hurt. Just drop comfortably from side to side. And let your stomach kind of fall in toward your backbone. And try and relax everything as it drops. And really let that torso twist. Now what happens with this that's real different than the upright? In the upright, the lower part of the torso and the legs are staying in one place, and it's the upper part that turns. Here, the upper part of your torso is staying stationary as the lower part turns. Now, if you want a little bit more extreme stretch once you start getting used to this and you become more limber, or you're already pretty limber and would just like it to be more extreme, if you have lower back problems, take your hands up, have your knees over, take your hands up, drop as a unit to the other side. Then come up, drop it out, use your hands, go across, bring it up, and drop to the other side. Bring them up. That way you can still have the arms down on the floor when you do the change of the legs. If you don't have lower back problems and you're good and strong, you may want to do this, and it makes a real extreme stretch by just going ahead, and you can eliminate the press down with your arms. And you can see that when I do this, I drop and I stop, and then I come up. It's just a 1 or 2 second count there, but what that does, it allows you to shift from having the legs going way over and then taking the opposing muscles and pulling it up so it doesn't tweak on your back. Now here you are on the floor. At this point, it would have been good if you would have read my You've Fallen post, because I have a whole thing. It's going to be listed on the Facebook so you can access that. And it takes you through photographically, step by step, how to get out of this position. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to drop the knees over, and we're going to take the outer arm, bring it across, and as the shoulders start to come, the gravity is helping us here, and then we can kind of turn around and get this knee over, and then we can come up and crawl to the support, and we can get up by doing exactly the same thing as we did coming down. One foot, and then the other foot. But I'm going to stay down here so that I can see you, to invite you to come over to my Facebook. The Facebook printed things, please go ahead. You can copy them, you can print them out. I'd love to hear that you shared them with somebody in your local Parkinson's support group. That's what it's all about.